Konnichiwa, y'all, and welcome to the Mr. Maple Show. Today we're going to be talking about the top 5 Japanese maples that are like Deshojo. So a lot of the groups, a lot of the bonsai groups, a lot of the bonsai forums, a lot of the books on bonsai recommend Deshojo for people who are beginning into bonsai, especially for a Japanese maple. It's one of the most highly sought after trees when people are interested in getting into bonsaiing a plant. And when you open any of the literature, you're going to see Deshojo is great for bonsai. So what we're going to do today is we're going to talk about 5 other trees that are kind of bonsai-like, that have some Deshojo-like qualities that make it fun for us to do bonsai with.
Yeah, I mean, Deshojo's in that Corallinum group, and the Corallinum group is one of the most striking spring interest Japanese maples. And then you get the changes of the seasons throughout it, where you get a little more green during the summer and maybe some colorful new growth. And then during the fall, you get some amazing fall color. And so I think that's really what is so attractive for Deshojo, is that fire engine red color, then the green, and then that fire engine red color again in the fall.
Yeah, the foliage in the spring is almost floral. It almost feels like the flowers. So you kind of get that flower appeal. You also get new growth in the summer that kind of flushes and makes it a really unique characteristic. And then fall color that's off the charts too. So these are kind of 3 categories we're looking at: spring interest flushes, summer interest flushes, and then great fall color. And so these trees will kind of mimic that for Deshojo. They're trees we offer on MrMaple.com. You can get Deshojo as well, but these are trees that will kind of give you some of that same aesthetic, same appeal, but a little bit different color pattern. So if you're into bonsai, consider these, because you can make some really interesting plants. They'll also look amazing next to your Deshojo and Shindeshojo maples.
Coming at number 5 with that Deshojo-like appearance, we've got Beni Sukasa. Now, Beni Sukasa has a nice upright form, and in the springtime, you just get some amazing, just some really nice pink colors.
Yeah, the pink is off the charts. I mentioned the summer, but it even has that shrimp pink-like quality of the summer, where you kind of have these little flashes all over it. So you have these little acer leaf stars just glowing all over your bonsai especially. Now, you can grow any of these to a full-size tree as well. I mean, I'm no bonsai expert. I have a lot of these in the ground as Japanese maples, but for bonsai, I think this is an excellent one. It has that smaller leaf like Deshojo. That's another quality of ones on this list, is they have a small leaf. So it kind of fits into that aesthetic. Great red fall color as well. Beni Sukasa, coming from Sukasa Maple Nursery in Japan. They've named so many amazing plants. And this one kind of fits that similar aesthetic with a different color. So, it's not going to look one-to-one the same as Deshojo if you have this near it. You're going to have some different colors. Both are going to have an interesting pink spring color, but you're going to be able to tell the two apart.
Now, one thing to note is any of the items in this Corallinum group, their spring colors can be affected by cold snaps as the tree is leafing out. That's true with Deshojo. You can actually get different colors than just your typical red. You can actually get some most yellow colors if you've had a cold snap. Many of these trees in this Corallinum group, as they're leafing out, may also have some slight variations with unusual weather patterns.
All right, coming in here at number 4, we got Beni Fushigi.
Now, Beni Fushigi is pretty awesome.
Sounds like something Snoop Dogg would say.
It does. It is red. It's got that fire engine red color you love with Deshojo, but it's got a leaf that's almost like Kamagata. So you've got just this really unusual variegation on this bright red Japanese maple that would be excellent for bonsai.
Yeah, the leaves are a little irregular. They're small. It's very unique. You get a lot of what you like in Beni Sukasa. You get a lot of those same color patterns, but in a variegated splash. Again, in that Deshojo-like family. If we were classifying these, they would definitely be in that spring flush category. Greening up a little bit midsummer, but then those new growths have that pink with that irregular leaf. Again, amazing fall color. Kind of fits that mold with a little bit something different going on.
I've seen some fuchsia fall colors on Beni Fushigi that are electric, and something I haven't seen on many other Japanese maple selections. Again, changes of the seasons, really important. Small leaves, that's also really important for bonsai. And
definitely would be in Snoop Dogg's top 5. I bet Scully Pendiflorum's his favorite, but I bet Beni Fushigi would be on the list. I bet you Beni Fushigi would be on the list.
Yeah, coming at number 3, we got Acer palmatum Ramona. In the early spring, you get a coral pink on this as well. But this thing, midsummer, is when this tree really shows off. I mean, it is amazing on its color then, because the greener older growth goes to yellow, and then new growths are a pink on top of that. I mean, you get good fall colors as well, but that midsummer time frame for Ramona really stands out among all Japanese maples when you have this yellow green down below with pink orange new growth coming across it. during the summer, it lights up that summer garden.
You get a lot of what you like about Orange Dream or even Moonrise with this one, but with a much smaller leaf, with a leaf that fits more into this Deshojo category. Really cool color patterns. I mean, especially like Tim was saying, the new growth flushes on this are electric. You get a crazy bright pink on this in the spring. Small leaves, so this would look really nice alongside Deshojo. I think a lot of people, that are collecting for bonsai may have not given Ramona a look, and this is a great plant for that. Those leaves are small. I think they would work great with the pinchback method. They give you a little bit something a little bit more divided, but still in that Deshojo family of category. Really just overall phenomenal colors on Ramona, and that's why it has to be on this list. It really fits well. Now, all of our trees, typically when you buy them from MrMaple, unless they are noted otherwise, are grafted. But for bonsai material, you can always plant a grafted tree. Grafted trees do better in the landscape than rooted cuttings, so that's why we graft all of our Japanese maples. But then if you're going to do bonsai material, you can do a rooted cutting or an air layer from a Ramona in the ground. Get some age to it, get some more caliper to it. It's going to grow faster in the ground than it is in the container. So I actually recommend bonsai people to start out with grafted material.
And you can actually turn a grafted tree into a bonsai specimen as well. There's some great
Some of the best ones at different arboretums.
Yeah, I mean, the North Carolina Arboretum is famous worldwide. They've got some grafted Japanese maples in their bonsai collection as well.
As well as the Pacific Rim collection.
Yeah, for sure. And then coming at number 2, we've got Acer palmatum Reuben.
Oh, I love this plant. Introduction by Cor Van Gelder and Esfeld. Go watch our whole podcast where we interview Cor, one of my favorite maple people on the planet. Reuben is so next level. Guys, this one is an interesting spring flush of pink, but it's really a unique shape. I think the shape lends itself as well to bonsai, just perfectly, because the shape of this tree is low and spreading. So a lot of people are going to want to create that open approach to it, that kind of open bonsai. So a lot of what you see developed with straight species palmatum is the shape that Reuben naturally wants to make. So it's a small 6-foot dense tree with a very open, small, upright canopy. I think a lot of people could see the benefits to Reuben as a bonsai. Again, incredible pink spring color, but the shape on this one is also a huge factor.
Yeah, and I think that shape also means that this tree is used to putting up a lot of density in its shape, which means if you're trying to get a back bud started, this one's going to be easier to do for bonsai because it's going to put a lot more interior growth in, trying to get it a little bit wider and denser naturally. It's easier to encourage that and push out branches in new and unique areas and sort of choose which branches you want to work with. You still get that pink color with Reuben, and you get just really small leaf. Awesome shape for bonsai.
Coming in here at number 1, we've got our number 1 tree that is Deshojo-like for Japanese maples for bonsai, and it is Kristen Star, guys. Kristen Star is a MrMaple introduction, but it was actually found by our friends Bill and Kristen Taylor down in Spartanburg, South Carolina. Phenomenal plant. This one may not be looked at for bonsai, but it certainly should be. Similar to Reuben, this has a dense, compact habit that's not huge, small and spreading, so the shape already lends itself well to bonsai. This has one of the most electric, Akane-like spring oranges. I mean, it's melon, it's orange, it's pink, it's got everything going on in the spring. It would be a perfect tree to use for bonsai.
Yeah, if you've got the book on J.D. Vertree's book on maples, the 3rd or 4th edition, probably the 4th edition, find Akane, read about how someone paid $1 million for Akane, and then for one of the very first Akanes. And then if you haven't tried to grow Akane and it dies on you, right. You're like, why did someone pay $1 million for this? It's because the spring color, and Kristen Star gives you the same color.
But it's not a wimp. It's
easy to grow. And you just get some really nice oranges, some pink colors in the early spring with a little bit of a yellow hue eye to it. It is striking in that spring garden. Again, green after that. Some new growth during the summer is nice. And some great red fall colors. Typically
5 to 6 foot with almost equal width. So it also makes that nice canopy, kind of an open canopy. The spring colors are incredible. It does fade to a green, very small leaves as well. Then you get that kind of pink, orange new growth going on over top of this. It would pair so nicely with Deshojo and Shindeshojo. So what a lot of people are creating from already with bonsai. Also, another feature to these on this list are they typically do root easily. So these are plants you can do air layers and bonsais of. Small leaf, gorgeous color, and it would just look amazing alongside Deshojo. So think of this as a Deshojo-like or accompaniment to Deshojo if you're already into bonsai.
I mean, the reason we chose many of these trees on this list is they're in that corallinum group with unique colors that you don't get out of Deshojo, or unique, interesting shapes, or interesting leaf shapes. And these are interesting types that we love to see bonsai experts take and work with and make some masterpieces, because these have the colors and the outrageous things that you'd want for bonsai, but there aren't enough people taking some of these new and interesting cultivars and then turning them into bonsai.
Each of these share some similarities with what people like about Deshojo for bonsai, but they're a variation. They're a different take on it. They're adding something different to that mix, something unique that you can create from and really add to your bonsai collection, because I think you're going to have, you know, a more dynamic, diverse collection with a lot of unique colors. These are some trees we know from our expertise in maples. I'm no bonsai expert, but these are certainly trees that have that similar appeal, and they have characteristics that can lend themselves so well to that art form. All right, guys, if you like this kind of thing, make sure to like and subscribe on the Mr. Maple Show. If you see a tree or hear a tree that we talked about here today and it's not on Mr. Maple, you can always sign up to get notified via email when we add new trees back to our website. When we add that specific tree back. Now, we add new trees every Tuesday and Thursday on our 10 at 10s. Those are at 10 a.m. Eastern. So a lot of the bigger sets of something like Kristen Star, they're going to return there first to a 10 at 10.
And if you love Japanese maples, and if you love bonsai as well, we'd love to see some of the photos of your plants in our Mr. Maple Friends group on Facebook. Check us out. That's Mr. Maple Friends group on Facebook. We got a great community there, and people share photos of their plants all the time. If you're doing some interesting bonsai, we'd love to see that as well.
Take care.
God bless.
Have a great day.